If your ink's too slow and your nib won't flow, here's one of the places that you can go. Larry is here to see you through with Mr. Announcer and Cubby too. It's Larry's Fountain Pen Reviews.
All right, folks. Hey, Larry here, and we're going to come on with you tonight because we just wanted to hang out and do a little bit of this and that. This is our second Zoom today, I guess.
Yeah.
We had a club meeting. Yeah. Whew. Don't ask me, I'm too old, brother, over the hill, but I'm still alive. Okay, Miss Janis, going to knock it to you. Miss Professor Janis, go ahead, knock it out, baby.
Well, I'll just tell a little bit of history. You know, when I was in elementary school and up through really high school, I used fountain pens. And the kind of fountain pens I used were, let me find it, I've got one here. The old Schaefer cartridge student pen.
Okay, me too.
And that's the only pen I ever used. And my brother and I was talking about it one day. It was a lot of fun because after you ran out of cartridges, we got to ride our bikes down to the local drugstore and buy new cartridges. But then when I got in college, I got totally away from fountain pens. And so, you know, I tried different ballpoints, but I ended up, because I was in science, using, you could buy these Uniball, and I still use them. I think they're called Vision, and they're in all different colors. So you could do your notes in all different colors. And I really like that. And then, of course, mechanical pencils I use, and I still have a pretty good collection of mechanical pencils, but those were what I used mainly. And then in 1980, when I got my bachelor's degree, my husband bought me a Waterman Felius fountain pen, and then I didn't use it. It had cartridges, and you know, I played around with it a bit, but I just didn't get into it. And then I guess it was in about 1913, somewhere in there. My husband is passed on, but by that time I was looking through some stuff and I came across that old fountain pen. And so I went and bought cartridges for it, started using it again, and found that I really liked the fountain pen. And so I started looking on YouTube and found, well, Brian Goulet was one of the first ones I ran across, and his videos on fountain pens, things like that. And then I started, you know, finding other people, and then I just started down the rabbit hole, you know, from then, and gotten a pretty good collection now of fountain pens and I use them a lot. And when I was teaching school, I would take them to class with me, and I still, what I take today, I keep in my backpack is the, let me see, I got one over here, probably, yeah, the Pilot Varsity. I keep a bunch of those in my, so when students see me writing with a fountain pen and they ask about it, I don't take my good fountain pens. I'll take one that, you know, I don't mind if it gets messed up. And but if they're curious, I will say, would you like to try one? And usually the ones I keep are the black ones. And it's the interesting thing is the first thing students do when they have a fountain pen, they turn it upside down to write with. Have you ever noticed that? If you've never used a fountain pen, that was curious to me. And I remember one young man, he came up and he said, yeah, I'd like to try it. And he said, is this a new invention? I've never seen these before. And I said, no, they've been around for quite a long time, but you know, it's just young people today, and I still take them with me to college when I take my class, because occasionally I'll have somebody ask me, you know, about it. So I always keep the Pilot Varsities handy, because I think they're a real good starter fountain pen, and you don't have to worry about, you know, ink cartridges or things. And then, you know, if they get, I tell them, if you ever get where you want more information and I'm not around, you can always find all kinds of stuff on YouTube. So I don't know if I've ever
So
converted anybody or not. Huh?
did you explain to that student how to use that fountain pen?
Yeah. The first thing I'll say is before you do anything, and another important thing is they're so used to writing with ballpoints, they press down very hard. So you have to say, this is a light touch. You don't need to press down. And that's very hard for them. They want to press way
Yeah.
down. And you have to just kind of take their hand and say, now give it, relax a little bit. Just, this is really light. And because even with pens like the Uniball, like this one, you still press down on it when you write. So fountain pen is a whole new experience. And the interesting thing is, when I was in high school teaching there, you know, we have exchange students, and a lot of times European exchange students, especially from Germany, places like that, that's what they still take notes with, is fountain pens. And one day I had some students doing something in my class, and I noticed the young girl there, she was an exchange student, using a Lamy or Lammy or whatever you call them. And
I mean, yeah, whatever.
and I said, oh, I've got one of those up there at my desk. And she was just so surprised. So she became a kind of a friend. And before she left, she came and wanted her picture made with me, and we were holding our fountain pens. I think because she'd never seen anybody else at the high school using a fountain pen except me. But you know,
So, Janis, what grade were you in when you started your fountain pens?
we started when we started learning cursive in about we started learning cursive. I'll take that back in about second grade. But I remember using fountain pens in elementary and middle school up through high school. Now in high school, kids were beginning to go to ballpoints. I remember Bics were real, and then there was something called the Lindy ballpoint. Do y'all remember those? Long, skinny, with a little cap at the end. You could get them in different colors. Those were a big fad when I was in high school too.
What were they called?
They were called Lindy pens. I don't even know.
I heard the name.
Lindy.
Lindy. Never heard of that. Yeah,
but of course, Bit came out with their famous, you know, ballpoint, and yeah, I remember using fountain pens. And the interesting thing is, this tells you how old I am, Larry. When I was in elementary in the 4th and 5th grade, we had the little wooden desk with an inkwell, so you could put your paper inks that had the little thing on the side that you inked.
I'll tell mine in a minute. Yep, they were great. Yes. Love it. Go back memory lane. Yes, ma'am.
Right.
I wouldn't trade that for nothing. No, I loved it.
Yeah, and then when they came out with ink cartridges, we were all just ecstatic, because you know how many accidents have happened on schools with those bottle of inks open and somebody not paying attention what they're doing or something. But yeah,
there was a Peanuts cartoon. Linus talking to Charlie Brown. Linus said that his grandfather got in trouble for dunking the girl's ponytail ahead of him into the inkwell.
I would believe that.
I'm telling you, all kind of things happen, I'm sure. Yeah. You know, when I was going to school, I went to a Catholic school, St. Mary's, and we first came out with the Schaefer, like you had, 2nd or 3rd grade, 1 or 2. We didn't know what it is, because we're used to using that number 2 fat pencil. we were still using it, but they were just showing us. And how I got hooked, uh, there was a, oh, peacock blue, I believe by Schaefer, the most prettiest peacock blue ever made, and they haven't created it yet. They've gotten close, but still no creation. So when I was talking to Stephen Brown, no, Mike, what's his name, that's no longer with us, he left. I got out of it for a while. The Mike something, the bald headed guy, remember that? Remember
Oh, he used to
Mike?
have the YouTube where he did pen reviews and stuff. I can't
Yeah,
remember. Yeah, I watched him. He was real good, and then he just
yeah, yeah.
decided
I,
to.
I, I don't know why he left, but he was a real good guy. I liked him. But anyway, so I was talking to him because I'm trying to find this certain kind of peacock blue ink. And he said, Larry, they don't make it anymore. Probably you can check with Schaefer and see if they make it. And no, they don't. So I was discouraged, but blue is still my favorite color. So here we go. I didn't get introduced to fountain pens till the 5th grade. And when I went into the classroom with the rest of the kids, Lord behold, there was these desks that I've never seen that had the lid pull up the desk. Have you seen those? The lid would lift up. About the 5th grade, I'll say it over again. So about the 5th grade, we were going to classroom, and then I saw the desk we were going to use. Nothing like I've ever seen before. Really neat looking desk that I just loved on first sight because they were different. You would open the lids like that, put your stuff in it, and that was awesome. And then it had a little thing on top for your pencil. You know, you could keep. Then it had this hole in it that we didn't know what it was, so we didn't do nothing until Miss Thompson, one of the greatest 5th grade teachers ever lived. She was so nice, so nice. I mean, she was really there to teach you. And Lord behold, she was really there for me. So she was telling the kids one day, when we all got in there, she said, now kids, you know what that hole is there? She said, that's an inkwell. What's an inkwell? She said, well, that's where you put your bottle of ink in, and you can dip it, or you can use a fountain pen with a little lever and suck it up. Huh, interesting. Have you ever used one? No, we just use these shapes. Well, I'm going to let you borrow for right now the dip pens, and then we'll get to the other pens. So she was teaching us. So we learned how to use the dip pens best we could, and that was fun. That was fun. And then we ended up using the ones you use with the lever, and that was fun. Then she taught us how to use the pens you were talking about. Was that a Schaefer you were using?
Right.
So, so long story short, our fountain pen, and we could use fountain pens. She said, you can bring your own fountain pen and you can use it. Well, that went on for, I don't know, half a year, 6 months. And then she was really excited. So and then she came in with some bad news. She said, kids, I got some sad news for y'all. And she said, we can no longer use fountain pens. The school said so.
Oh.
And we all asked, why, Miss Thompson? That's a good question. Even I don't know that. They just said use ballpoints. And she said, use your stick pens. Those big stick pens. So it wasn't, well, there wasn't no fun. Because back then, Bic didn't have that little, with the flare now where you can choose your tip pen options. They have broad, medium, fine, different color inks in them. They didn't have that. It was just period with a yellow cap. So that's my story on that. But that was the coolest desk ever in this world.
That's the kind of desk I had when I was in elementary. And
yes,
you know, when we got into junior high, they had changed from those desks to more modern, I guess. And you didn't have the inkwell and stuff like that. But by that time, we were using these cartridges anyway instead of inkwells. And but you know, the thing is, I remember in high school, the Bic became a big fad, and I got some but I never liked writing with it as well as I did the fountain pen. You know, especially taking notes, it just seems like I could write faster with a fountain pen. Of course, we all wrote in cursive too.
Yeah,
We didn't print,
yes,
and it just seemed like it was just much easier with a fountain pen because it flowed easy. And you know, the only disadvantage was you would occasionally run out of a cartridge, but they were easily replaced. And so, you know, I had both in high school, but I preferred the fountain pen. And, you know, like I said, the little fountain pen, that little Schaefer, you know, you could buy it at the local drugstore. And
right.
in school, we were only allowed to use blue or black cartridges, you know, um, even though they had other colors. I believe they had a red and maybe a green. I can't remember. So
Green.
at home, I would play with the different colors, but you know, it was a fun time. But then when I got in college, I got away from it completely, and that was kind of a shame.
Why? Why? Why'd you get away from it?
You know, I don't really know. It just seemed when I got into college, I guess because nobody was using them, you know how that is. And so I started using those Uniball type, and then, you know, mechanical pencils. I used those quite often. I took notes with them actually. And so, you know, sorry, there's a bug or something flying around here. But I don't know. I did. And maybe it's just, you know, everybody else was not using them, and I just, and it may be, I don't know, because you bought your supplies, you know, at the bookstore at the college, and maybe they didn't have fountain pens. Maybe all they had
You
were
know,
roller balls and things like that. So, you
I
know,
always went with my mom. But the drugstore had a lot of stuff I loved, but we went to like Kmart and got a bunch of stuff, you know, so that was cool. I like new paper for some reason. As long as
mm,
it hadn't been used, new paper, put and write with it. That was so cool. And a
right,
pen, fountain pen. Yep. Learning a bit of cursive in elementary.
right,
Cursive art. You know, first we learned the alphabet, how to write the alphabet. And from there, slowly but surely, the nuns were teaching us cursive writing, which was really neat. I was scared to death, petrified, because I didn't know what it was. And I really couldn't read cursive yet,
uh-huh,
you know, and I couldn't write it. So I really am scared because I'm going to fail school. I don't know what this is. And the nun, I'm not going to say that, but the nun helped us in her own way learn this pretty quick, you know. Some nuns, yeah, shut up. So anyway, she was sweet, wasn't she, Jay? Yeah, yeah, very sweet. So anyway, so it was interesting, like history. You know, I like history. Okay,
hmm,
uh, so I paid attention, and I did know what she was doing when she was. First, she would write the alphabets, and then she'd write the letters, and then she'd go back and ask us, "What is that?" Well, that's a B. That's in regular alphabet. Well, then she wrote a word. Let me see. Larry, would you stand up and please say this word?
hmm,
Me? Oh, Lord. I can't say my own name. Okay. So I stood up and I said, I don't know, sister. Oh, have you been paying attention? "Mhm. Then you should know this word. Yes, ma'am. So why don't you write this word down 50 times on your paper and hand it in? So she said, class, the name of this word is word. So, but then I learned how to read cursive, learned how to write cursive, but not a lot, still learning until I got into the 5th grade with Miss Thompson. She taught us how to read and write cursive more, where we left off to more. You know, I forgot in 3rd and 4th grade what happened there. So I know it's the 5th grade and we caught on just like that. Boom, 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 boom. It was fun. It
yeah.
was fun.
Well, you know, the thing I remember is in first grade, we had those big fat pencils like you were talking
The
about.
red one. The red one.
And
Yes.
we had something called the Big Chief tablet that was marked
Got
off
them.
so you could know how to do a capital versus a small letter. And
Got them. Got them. Got those tablets. Yeah.
we started using cursive in second grade. They had kind of a special paper we could use. But I remember, I think in the third grade I always enjoyed the beginning of school when we went and bought school supplies. That was the first
Yeah.
time we
Yeah.
got to use real notebook paper, you
Yeah.
know, because
Yeah.
by
Yeah.
that time
Yeah.
we were expected to know how
Yeah.
to write cursive. And I remember that. So,
Yep. I remember that was so much fun and get your clothes for school.
yeah. Oh, I know.
I would wear a new shirt, new pants that first day to school, maybe shoes, and change it out the next day. It was a lot of fun. I've been looking for those red big pencils. Can't find them yet.
Yeah, I
And
haven't,
I,
you know, maybe Liz can tell you where to find them. I've seen like color pencils, like you color with, that were big and fat
yeah,
like that, but I've never seen just regular writing pencils,
pencils.
so I don't know.
They not make them no more.
They may not, I don't know. I would think, though, for little hands like kids learning to even print, they would be easier to hold than a regular pencil, so I would think
And they would be.
maybe they
Yeah.
still, you know, make them. I don't know, but
And don't forget the pencil boxes.
oh, well, you know what we always used? Cigar boxes.
Cigar box. I got from 2 of those. Yeah. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. At the drugstore, they always had them ready for me.
Yeah,
Larry, come in here.
they would always have some
Cigar-
empty ones, and I think you could buy them for like a nickel.
Yeah.
And we bought a cigar box to put all our stuff in.
Yes,
Yes.
ma'am.
And then by
Wow.
the time we
Let's
got
go
to
back
junior
2
high, where
decades.
we could actually buy notebooks, and then you could buy those little plastic things to go in the notebook to hold your pencils and pens in. But I remember in
What were
elementary
they?
school, it was
Oh,
all these cigar boxes.
yeah. The zipper bags you're talking about?
Yeah, the ones by the time
Yeah.
we got to junior high, you know, we were using the regular notebooks and the little plastic pouch that you would clip
Yeah,
in there
yeah.
and would hold all your stuff you needed. But
They had such neat things back then that they don't have now. The clipboards that, no, there was a notebook and I gave it away, dummy, that I believe on top was a clipboard you could write on paper, and then you would open it up and there was a notebook inside and something else. What was that called, Jake? Remember it?
they
I
used to
know what
have
you're talking
something
about.
called a trapper.
That could be it. That could be it.
It
The
was
trapper.
kind of you would fold
Write
it
that
back,
down.
and then at the top there was a little case to hold your pens and pencils in.
Yeah,
and then
yeah,
that-
yeah, 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 yeah.
There was actually one that came out before that. I remember using that one. It wasn't a trapper. It was not like a big name thing, but I do remember using one before that I liked better than the
Right.
trapper.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to look for that too. The trapper.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah, there was one. I can't remember, you know, what they were called, but I know they were a big deal when they came out because they had that little built-in place you could put your pens or pencils. And you know, in elementary school, the reason we used cigar boxes is because we also had to bring our crayon and our glue and you know all that
Yes,
kind of
yes.
stuff too. So,
Art supplies. Don't forget your scissors. Yeah.
yeah, scissors,
Uh,
scissors in there. I don't, a whole bunch of stuff.
ruler.
Did you ever have to carry the little bottle of mucilage?
No,
What?
You remember the old glue that was real gloppy? There was an eyedropper thing you would stick it down in the glue, and it had a brush on it.
A brush.
Brush.
Yeah.
oh,
You
gosh,
remember
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, yeah, I remember it. Yeah, yeah, you remember it. Yeah,
uh-huh.
yeah. Wow.
Wow.
You can't beat school back then that it is now. No way. Back then was fun. It's
Yeah,
like,
it was. I love school, and of course all your friends were there too. But
yeah,
I remember that before school, they would give out a list to the parents of what supplies you needed, and we'd go looking for supplies at the local TGNY store. I don't even
yeah,
know if anybody knows what that is, but
yeah,
or drugstore somewhere, but mostly TGNY had everything you needed. And then the drugstore, we had two drugstores, and like I said, they sold cigars, so you can go over there and buy cigar boxes for a nickel or a
yeah.
dime or something.
It was so
Uh,
much fun.
it
So
was.
much. Man, what happened and why? Why did it change? Why did people have to change it? I mean, if they would have lived in our area, hopefully they would have had really fun time, you know. And yeah, remember when you're getting your books, they're brand new, and they put them down on the table, don't open your books yet. They would tell us, and we're just so anxious. And we then said, now open your books. Let's go to the front and look at it and see what you think. It was just anything new would really I like. Now, one thing I didn't like about notebooks, if my paper notebook was I didn't like bent sheets. It had to be all straight, so I would put that in the very back. That was just me. I
Did
just
you have the
Yeah.
large sheet book covers that had local business names printed on
Right, right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And you'd have to cover all your books. And yeah, they would always have those for free. And when you
yeah,
got books, you get your stack of book covers. And of course they wore out, so halfway through the year you were probably getting old paper sacks and things like that to replace them. But yeah, at the beginning of the year, everything was fresh and new and exciting. It's interesting. I wonder about future generations. Are they going to be talking about their tablets or computers? I mean, it just seems, for us, this is a lot of fun memories. I wonder if the future generation that's so technological today is
They'll
going to
be
have as much fun
about
with their memories.
Wi-Fi access and the not being able to use their cell phones. That's all that matters to them.
Yeah,
my
that's
time cell phone.
mm-hmm.
They're
Yeah.
they're missing. They really are missing the fun stuff. And I'm sure if any young person or college person happens to uh, run over this uh, video, that they're going to say, "Oh, that's so boring." Blah blah. You don't know it until you try it. You're never going to know it till you try it. And really, you have missed one awesome, awesome trip down memory lane because you're in the wrong sector of the whole thing. You don't know what it is to actually hold a fountain pen. You don't know what it is to hold an actual pencil and enjoy that pencil. Really, really enjoy it. That pencil is you. I mean, it's fun. And then to sharpen that pencil, the sharpeners were fun. And the erasers you put on top or you use by hand, they were fun. Now, you don't find that now. I don't
Yeah.
see it. What has
You
happened?
know, I teach a course out at TCC, and there's I teach at night, so I do get older students. But when I look out and when I'm having my lecture, um, there's not that many people that take notes. Most are typing on their computer or even their cell phones. And I give a little speech every time because research has shown if you write it down, you remember it better. And so I will say, it's not a bad idea. I um, will not try to go too fast. And if you need me to repeat something, I can. If you're taking notes, I can do that. But it's better if you physically write it on a sheet of paper, and I don't tell them they need a fountain pen or anything, but very few do. And so, and what I'm finding more and more is they don't even bother. They just tape record my lecture with their phones. So, and there's nothing I can
Really?
do about that. Yeah. yeah, they'll just they're supposed to ask permission for them to do that, but they don't. And so I'm sure they're playing a game on the phone and recording my lecture at the same time, and probably not getting much out of it. So
They can get away with that stuff now. Wow. Why even go to
unfortunately,
school?
there's no way you can really monitor that stuff, I mean, I have in my lecture 48 students, and but I do see grade wise there is a correlation, and I will kind of mention that at the beginning, that the people who actually take the notes, write down, and I use PowerPoint too, so they can write some, usually do much better on the quizzes and things like that than the others who just, because I got a feeling half of them don't go back and bother to re-listen to the recording
Yeah.
anyway. So, but yeah, I have noticed that a little bit, but that's not a scientific survey, but it is interesting.
Yeah, I can remember the kids in elementary school, fifth and sixth grade, carrying their pens and their pencils in here pocket. And they had to put on these clips for the pencils. And I remember the teacher would tell us that, okay, be careful with those pointed pencils sticking up, because you can hurt yourself if you fall down. Yeah. So she said the best thing to do, I guess, is just break the point off when you get home, sharpen it and use it. But that was really dangerous. So, and she was right. Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
I know in high schools, now not all boys did it, but a few boys who were a little on the nerdy side used to have those plastic protectors in their pocket. And I'm sure mom was one of the reasons for that, because if you ever had ink leak or something on your shirt. But I'm not it. When I was in high school, we did not have calculators. We had slide rules. So that shows you I came over on Noah's Ark. But anyway,
yeah, we didn't have
much
calculators either.
different time now than it is today.
Yeah, and I don't really like it. I like back in the day. It was just a lot better. It really was.
Mhm.
Today it's just everybody's tripping. It's everybody. It's all about power and wealth and control and do this and do that. Back then it was so peaceful. I mean, yeah, we had our problems, but nothing like today. Okay,
Right.
everybody's going to have, but it was so peaceful. I mean, I could go outside and play. I didn't stay with no computer. Ride my bicycle. I could go around the neighborhood and find soda pop bottles and sell them and get money for them. It was just great. Now, every once in a while, I'd go into a vacant house, and it's been sitting there for a while. The people left or died or whatever. And I'd go in, and here's my thing. I'd go into the kitchen, and I see all these cool office things. You there? Oh, she stopped. We'll have to wait. Dun, 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 dun. Well, look, you're gonna edit this, aren't you?
Oh, yeah.
Looks like nobody came. Isn't that weird?
Well, it depends on whether or not they looked at the webpage, between Thursday and now.
Okay, sorry.
So anyway, I go into the vacant house and people are gone. So it had this happen in the bedroom, I think, and some in the kitchen and some in the dining room. I would find office supplies.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in heaven. I'm just in heaven. Pencils, ballpoint pens, fountain pens, page dividers, protectors, or whatever you want to call them, pen boxes or pencil boxes, you name it, briefcases of all kinds. It was so cool. I was in heaven. Paper, brand new paper,
Mm-hmm.
notepads you take notes with. I was like, oh, my God, look at this. Oh, candy store. Oh, I want this. So I found the briefcase and put that other briefcase. I'm just probably fifth, sixth grade, maybe. Oh, so, and then dishes. Yeah, nice dishes, buttered dishes. Uh, those coffee things you put milk into or cream. You know how you put cream in the creamer and sugar. Found those. I would take some of those and some. What do you call it? Oh, utensils, forks, knives, blah blah blah.
I've often wondered when he tells me these things, had the people really moved or was he robbing them?
I think they were really good. There was no furniture in the house.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they were gone, and they were older. So I think they passed. So anyway, so I would go home just down the street, 3 houses, and I'd put all the dishes stuff in my playhouse. My dad made me a big giant playhouse out of a cardboard box, doors, windows, and all that good stuff. You know, that was cool because I could hide in there and you couldn't see me. And I put all the dishes in there, and I put all my stuff in there. So I remember one day going in the house, my mom said, what do you do with all that? Somebody left it behind and I'm using it. Where are you going to use it at? School. And she was like, okay. Of course, I never used it. I mean, just for junior high, or, you know, when you start, or high school, college. But it was fun. It was, that's my thing. I love it. It's just fun. So did you ever do stuff like that?
No, I didn't have any vacant houses in my neighborhood, for one thing.
Where did you live at?
I grew up in a place called Slayton, Texas, just outside of Lubbock.
Slayton, Texas.
And, you know, you were talking about bicycles earlier. Before I could drive, that was our means of transportation. And my brother and I mean, we lived in a place that was safe. We rode bikes all over town. We even rode them to little nearby towns, you know, if we had friends out that way. And my parents didn't worry about us, you know. We'd say, oh, we're going to so-and-so's. And, you know, those were good days. And,
yeah, if it was like, you know, sounds similar. I grew up out of Odessa, Midland. Your mom could make 2 phone calls and identify wherever you were in town.
Right. Right. Yeah, it was good times. And there was a corner, kind of a grocery, it wasn't a grocery store, it was a little filling station, but he also had a few it would be kind of like a 7-Eleven, only very scaled down. But he main thing that attracted us was the soft drinks and the candy, you know. And so that was a big deal every day to get some money to go down to the corner store and, you know, buy some soda.
We had in our neighborhood there, believe it or not, there's a couple of things that happened I'll never ever forget in my life. We lived on Gamble Street, and then close to Rosemont Junior High in Hubbard Heights. So I would walk just around the corner, and there was and as I turned left around the corner, there was one house and the next house. And that next house was small. It was a little neighborhood store. And it had all kinds of cookies in these big giant cookie jars, pickles. It had candy everywhere for kids because she was such a great old lady. It was just something. You would think you're at the Wizard of Oz in Candyland or something. My God. Oh, and back there it was like, was it 3 cents for a penny, 3 candies for a penny or something? I forgot, but I got, this is the truth, a Babe Ruth one time and one time only. It was about 12 inches long.
I know. Candy was really
big and fat for a nickel. And she said, a nickel?
I know. Well, that's like my parents, they would give us a quarter and we could go down and get a soft drink and a piece of candy or whatever we wanted. I mean, we could even go to the movies on 50
Yeah,
cents,
yeah, yeah,
5 cents to go in, and then 25 cents to buy a Coke and popcorn. So,
yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah. We did that. We did that a lot. Yeah. So that's changed now. Like $20, $30 just to get concession and to get in just depends $20, $30. Yeah. You're done then, $60.
well, Slayton now is not a big town, but it's known for its Slayton Bakery. And they actually, if you go to HEB, you can buy the Slayton Bakery vanilla wafers and things. But at the time I was growing up, um, it was still a very small bakery, and that was one of the fun things we always did is go down there and get what they called not donut holes, they called them bullets, and we would get a bag of bullets to eat. But those are great memories. I was very fortunate to grow up in a place like that. So
We would have the ice cream machine, the ice cream guy come down the street in that white,
yeah,
and we come out. But I remember because I like to pay attention to detail. And this ice cream man, real nice, all in white, and in his pocket he had some kind of pen. So I would ask him, said, "Sir, what kind of pen is that?" He said, "Oh, son, you probably would know what it is." I said, "Maybe." So he took it out and let me look at it. I said, "Is that a fountain pen?" He said, "How'd you know?" I said, "Well, they were teaching us in school and blah, blah, blah." And I said, "What do you use it for?" I write down what I'm needing. So when I go back and to the warehouse, I can get more restock. And we would always get, I don't know, they had those little things of cups of ice cream. They had the sundae. Oh, so good. And the strawberry and the vanilla and the chocolate and the orange and it all. The Eskimo pies.
Oh, okay.
And they quit making Eskimo pie. Another name, I forgot the name, because when all these names changed because of everything that's happening now, you can't say this name or that name, it's offensive. So they changed that to a different name.
Oh, Janice, did y'all ever have the mosquito sprayer truck go through town?
Oh, yes, yes.
Yeah.
Jump out into the smog when we passed by.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
And we were crazy enough sometimes to run behind it. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's no wonder I've got lung problems today. But, back in Slayton, they had what they call back alleys, little roadways.
Yeah, we had them.
And,
Yeah.
My grandmother lived a couple of blocks from us, and we were about a mile from downtown. And so she walked everywhere. She didn't drive. And she and her friend, Mrs. Melujan, we would go walking down the back alleys looking for old marbles. And you could find a lot of marbles in the back alleys. I guess kids got out there and played and lost them. But we would make our little trip through the back alley so we could find marbles. And we would chase the mosquito spray truck.
Love marbles, love marbles.
I was afraid to go in the alley to empty the trash because there was this old lady around town who would wander around and look through people's trash cans.
Oh,
Everybody
really?
knew her and she was safe. Yeah, I wouldn't want to go back there.
Speaking of that, yeah, I used to explore a lot until I got ill. I can't explore anymore. Love exploring, going through the woods and whatever. But I would go down the alleys and look, and those little lizards, those horned toads. Yeah,
Horned
love.
toads.
Yeah,
Right.
horned toads. Yeah,
Yeah.
horned toads, whatever. Yep. See them a lot. Lizards loved them. Pretty things. Oh, these look at you. So, and then I may have found a ballpoint pen, a pencil. Never found a fountain pen though. Some jacks. People left jacks or fell out of their pocket.
Yeah.
Hiccup sticks that the can was empty. It was just in the, back there in the alley. But found a lot of neat things back there for me.
Yeah.
And then
We were just mainly looking for marbles, so that's what my brother and I was looking for when we would go. But anyway,
I look for anything at the store. Yeah, I'll carry a canteen with me too. Army canteen. Yep. Hey, how about the lunch kits? Which one did you take?
Um,
Did you a lunch kit?
yeah, every once in a while I see on TV one of these pickers or something like that, and they'll run across somebody who collects lunch boxes. And that was another big thing in school is you got a new lunch box every year, and they were usually the little metal flat ones with a little thermos in it. And Mother would always make us. I never liked the cafeteria, so we avoided the cafeteria, my brother and I, and so we took our lunches, and it's usually a bologna sandwich and maybe an apple
Yeah,
or orange, and then Mother, I can't remember what was in the thermos. Probably milk. I can't remember what we drank,
yeah,
but
probably.
yeah, and then so yeah, those and sometimes chips. She would put chips in there too. So yeah, those.
I love the cafeteria. I love their hamburgers. I know it's crazy. Hamburgers and juice. That was my favorite. Oh,
Right.
and I think I must have went once or twice to the line. I didn't ever like what I saw. I just went and got me some hamburgers. Oh, they were so good. Oh, the smell just. But then
Well, was in
yeah,
junior high. We lived about a block from the school, so we would walk home for lunch.
yeah,
And so I'd eat it through junior high. I'd eat at home, and a lot of times in high school, we would come home for lunch too. They had an open campus, so you could leave the high school campus. And
really.
yeah, and
Oh, yeah, we couldn't leave. You know, I had
um,
to stay on campus. We couldn't go nowhere.
right, or you could go down to. There were a lot of like little dairy marks and stuff like that, and eat there for lunch. But yeah, but never
Did you
ate
ever get
in
them
the
big
cafeteria.
fat pickles?
Huh?
Did you ever get those big fat pickles?
Oh yeah,
Pickles.
I always loved
Big
to get
fat
those
ones?
when I went to the movies with popcorn. Get a big old
Yeah.
pickle and
Yes,
popcorn.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yeah. And then I like that and hot dogs. Oh, I love the hot dogs. It was special, so special. Sit there and watch that movie, Ghost or whatever's on, the dinosaur, Count Dracula, the Wolf Man, Frankenstein, the Mummy.
Right.
Oh, what
A
memories.
lot of westerns too.
What the heck?
Yeah.
Oh, I love Western shoot 'em up movies. That's what
Yeah.
they're called. Yep, love them. John Wayne, whatever. I like army movies. A lot of the war pictures, you name it. So
Did
I
you
like
ever
some
go
of the
to a
regular movies, the funny
drive-in?
movies.
Yeah. Did you go to a drive-in movie?
Oh, all the time.
Yeah,
Yes.
we had one
Yep.
at Slayton, and that was kind of a family affair. We would just all, get in the car and go to the movies. And of course, that was always fun to go to the concession stand because that's where you get your hot dogs and, stuff like
Yes,
that.
ma'am. That was the thing. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Get your hot dogs right there. And your popcorn. They have to have that and soda. Oh, and I got a big pickle. So I got the popcorn, the pickle, the soda, and I said the hot dog. The hot dog. So that's 4 things. Hot dog, pickle, soda. Was that it, Jake?
Candy, probably.
Probably candy. What kind of candy? I don't remember, but those for sure 3 things is what I got. It was just, and it took me almost forever to eat the pickle.
Yeah.
So it was just.
I don't know what was but those pickles. I've never tasted anything as good since. I love dill pickles, but they just had a special taste to them, and I'm sure it was just me at the time, but those were really good.
Well, from time to time we get that big jar clear of pickles, dill pickles.
Mm-hmm.
The big one, the big fat one. And yeah, it's not the same as it was then.
Mm-hmm.
But then again, I say, well, there's nothing going to be the same as probably back
Right.
then. It might be close to it, but it's going to be a little different. So I ate it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Little popcorn next, back to the pickle, a little popcorn drink. Oh,
Right.
God, talk about memory.
Well, the popcorn was usually salty and it needed the pickle to cut through all that salt. So
Yes. That's how you do it, though. Yep. Some people don't understand it, but they have to be an oldie but goodie to understand it. Yes, ma'am. I had a blast. I had a
Yeah,
blast, and every Sunday had to go to church.
you're right.
Had to. I was an altar boy. Go to church. Oh, well, I didn't have no choice. Do you see let me see
We
if I,
went to
is there
church
a,
in
what up
Sunday
here?
morning, Sunday night,
No,
and
there is.
Wednesday night. So,
Have you ever seen my lunch kits, the Beetle ones, the
hmm,
lunch kits? I used to have up here. Well, I still have them somewhere in there, but I have the Beetle lunch
It's in the den.
in the den. Okay, so going to work one day, I put lunch in it.
right. When I was in, now I used lunch boxes when I was in elementary because, like I said, in middle school and high school we ate at home. But um, I was a big Dell Evans fan, and I remember I had one lunch box with, I think it was Dell Evans and Roy Rogers on it. I don't, maybe first or second grade, I can't remember. But anyway,
Back in the day, I had Roy Rogers, Dale Evans. I had a Hopalong Cassidy.
right.
Uh, what else? I had a few more. I'm trying to think. I don't think it was Batman. But anyway, I know I had quite a few until Mom said, "That's enough. You're losing your lunch kits." So paper bag, and so that happened. But when I was working for the MHMR several as a program manager at one time before I got sick, I had my lunch kit with the Beatles. I said one day to myself, I'm going to take my lunch kit to work and people are going to say something. I said, I don't care. So I put my sandwich and cookies and I think an orange and a candy bar. I don't know what else. I was ready for lunch. So I go up in the building, go in the elevator, and all these people in there, and they're looking at the lunch kit. Sir, can you tell me what you got there? Sure, it's my lunch kit. Oh, okay, that's nice.
Mhm.
Is anything in it? Sure. Look, you bring your lunch to work? Yeah. I said, it's better to bring my lunch in this than you in that sack,
You're
because
right.
that's going to tear. And they all just laughed. And there I go down the hall to my office with the lunch kit. Can you believe it? Oh, yes, I did it. Yes. Power. I was in control of my lunch. So it was just a lot of fun. A lot of men on here, I don't know if they had that kind of fun.
I don't
To
know.
me, pure fun. And the next time we do this, I'm going to talk about the stream, the turtles, the what do you call them?
Crawdads.
Crawdads. Did
Oh,
I say minnows? Yeah, I'm going to talk about that, my secret cave. I want to talk about stuff like it and share with you. And it was a blast. Poor little crawdads. I didn't kill them. They're the sweetest little things. You give them little kisses and let them go.
mhm.
And my friend would say, "What are you kissing the craw? That's nasty." Or the little turtles. I've never seen them in this part. I mean, you can get them at pet stores, but never.
Yeah.
So I had a blast. A super blast. I think, Janis, this is the other part of us that people don't even know.
Right, right. Um,
And
yeah.
I think this is great for
I've
people to know.
enjoyed reminiscing with you because it's fun to talk about these things sometimes,
Yes, I mean, you're the only one, but no, Jake doesn't really go back that far, do you, Jake?
I'm a few years behind on that. Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
I had one wonderful blast. This is just fun for me. It
Mhm.
was a blast, and we got to do it again. And if anybody else likes to join us, they can do so. What do you think?
Right. I think so.
Just be ready for some oldie but goodie from the past. So before we go, I'm going to say anyone and everyone is welcome to join us. And we're going to talk about memories from the past. And this way you can know how we were brought up, how we lived, how it used to be, and then we can learn from you, the past. So we're learning each other, and also learn about cursive writing
Right.
and pens, which we will bring up again more in our memories. And I've got a good one coming up that I'm saving. So I didn't want to bring up all the fountain pens yet, or
Right.
cursive, because I want to save some, but got plenty. I want to say them now, but I'll wait. All right, Janis, anything you want to say before you go?
No, I just had fun tonight and today. I thought our first International Pen Club meeting went very well, and I was very pleased with that. So
We had fun. So the name of the, Jake,
Fountain Pendulum.
don't forget the name, and we'll be back before Santa gets here in December 17th at 1 p.m. on Thursday.
And if you haven't checked it out lately, stay tuned to mrannouncer.info. I will try to keep it as update as I can.
Now, Janis and I put it in Instagram. We put it in Facebook, Fountain Pen group, and the Pen Pal group. Anywhere else? Did I miss anything?
I think that was it.
Was that it? Okay, we got them in those groups. So we got it, and we'll be posting it time to time. And the code, remember the code. I posted the code, but also it's always below each video how to get into the Zoom room. When you look at the video, look at the bottom of the video, and there's the code. Also, when you go into a Pen Pal and you want to be a Pen Pal, there are some questions, that you have to answer. Very simple, just a few of them. Answer the question, and one of the moderators will let you in. See, it's really simple. So join the groups, join our club, join them all. Right? Right. So Miss Janis, we'll see you when.
well, I guess we have a Fort Worth Pen Club meeting coming up pretty soon. So
On Saturday.
yeah.
Fort Worth Pen Club here, that we need to work on, because I know there's people in Fort Worth, I feel it. There has to be that are interested in Arlington and around, because I want to get ours back started again. So we can do this. We can do this. I know we can, and it's going to happen. And I guess for now, I'm done enough. Right? All right, Jan, anything else, dear? Is that it?
That's it.
Tell Rodney I said hi.
All right, I will.
All right. Bye-bye. See you later, hon. Take care.